My name is Adeleke. I worked on sustainability of solar mini-grids in Nigeria as my thesis in my master's degree program in energy studies, where I specialize on renewable energy. Nigeria has huge solar energy potential. However, very little quantum of solar radiation is being captured for electricity in Nigeria. But despite the low level of solar energy uptake in Nigeria, quite a number of the projects, particularly solar mini-grids, fail within 2 to 3 years of installation, despite the high expectation of the 20 to 25 years lifespan of PV projects. So therefore, I try to work on to understand what's the reason for this failure, the failure of the project. Why are the ones that succeeded, why did they succeed? The ones that failed, why did they succeed? Now, I focus on 2 projects. One, a publicly funded project in northern Nigeria where they have more solar installation, and then a privately sponsored project that both are mini-grids, sponsored project in River State, that's in the south of Nigeria, where the solar radiation is relatively lower, but both have good value for solar energy uptake. Now, I was looking at 2 questions basically. What are the factors responsible for the failure of the solar mini-grids, the ones that failed, and the ones that succeeded? What are the factors? And also to understand the nature of the factors. Is it technical, is it economical, is it social? Therefore, I look at the research in 5 perspectives, looking at the technical, the economic, the social, the organizational, and the environmental perspective of each of the projects focused. The data collection was through project inspection, the facility inspection, and then focus group discussion with stakeholders and interviews. And the projects were assessed using the approach, the comparative analysis of comparing apple to pears, suggested by ISOM 2008, using specific indicators. These are the specifics of the project. The second project is, the first project in southern Nigeria is a 6 kilowatt project, commissioned in 2013, and then it's about 4, the solar installation there is 4.31 kilowatt hour per meter square per day, while that of the northern project is 6.5 kilowatt hour per meter square per day. But that was commissioned in 2008 and it's 10 kilowatt system. Like I said, it's a publicly funded project. But as for status, the one in the River States, in the place with lower solar radiation, is currently functional since 2013 that it was commissioned. But the one in the northern Nigeria, sponsored by the government, is no more functioning. So I try to understand what are the factors responsible. Now in this, we discovered that one of the major factors contributing to the failure of mini-grids in Nigeria is that there are no standards for imported components for PV systems in the country, and this cut across board, across various applications of PV systems in Nigeria. Because currently in the country we don't have capacity for manufacturing the component, therefore almost all the components for PV systems across board for various applications are being imported. Yet, we don't have standard yet, therefore there are infiltration of low quality products from various nations. Then currently there is no specialized training for solar installers. So we have quack that just go to do the job, and then somebody thinks that the project is well done because it's functioning at the first day. However, just few months or 1 year, 2 years down the lane, the project fails. And also, many times, projects are being implemented as gifts. For instance, a politician goes to a community, like saying he wants to give back to the community, and then goes on to do a solar mini-grid project. But because it's given as a gift, there are no strategies for maintenance, there are no strategies for monitoring. Therefore, maintenance is cut out, believing that the low maintenance requirement of solar mini-grids means no maintenance for solar mini-grids. Therefore, the project often fail. So we observe that low maintenance requirement of solar mini-grids projects have been misinterpreted for no maintenance, which is an issue. Also, there is a social biases. There are times there are inter-communal clashes, and then one community that is angry that these people got this project. Why not we? They go and scatter the project, vandalize it, and then of course there are also people that go to steal at night. The other also is the donation of project as gifts, which I've also spoken about. Because when projects are being donated as gifts, there are no multi-stakeholder approach, which is the best approach we discovered to be working for those projects that succeeded. Then another issue is that it has been impossible up to date in Nigeria to do remote monitoring for solar mini grids, simply because internet facility is needed for remote monitoring, and then there are very low, there are no networks in many of the rural communities in Nigeria. Therefore, our monitoring system has been very poor. It has been very manual, and then people have to come from all over a great distance to come and monitor it. Therefore, there is no regular monitoring facility. And also, for the economic perspective as well, we noted that there are no income generating activity. Because this thing is not well planned. Normally, they're supposed to plan for the projects to be bringing back some money for the maintenance. But because there are no economic perspective to it, it's just done. And then when there are needs to maintain the project, there are no funds to maintain it. Therefore, many times, such projects just go down the lane. So we see in the graph, the projects in river states in the southern Nigeria with lower solar radiation, and then funded by a private company, is the one in blue. For technical, social, organizational, and environmental perspective, it performed above 70%, except for economic sustainability. Because though the project is sponsored, is bringing some income, like tariff from the users, it is not sponsoring economic activity like businesses. That's why it's a bit lower. That's about 67%. Then, but for the government project, it's performed below 60% in all the perspectives. Just basically because we noted that the planning was absolutely having problem. There was serious problem with the project actually in the planning, from the planning stage. Therefore, looking at the findings, we recommend that one, there should be standards should be developed for PV component to be imported into Nigeria, and then there should be standardized training for solar PV installers across the country, and then also the issue of planning, the issue of maintenance, the issue of monitoring should be taken into consideration when designing and implementing project. And also very important is the fact that we must have a multi-stakeholder approach. And it's an approach that comprises not just the operator, not just the funders, but also the people in the community that will use this, that will benefit from the project. It should also be carried along in all of this. Therefore, we're concluding and recommending that we noted that the factors that are responsible for the failure of solar mini grids in Nigeria are multidimensional, as we have seen: technical, economic, social, organizational, and environmental. And more challenges result from inadequate planning. Like we'll see, almost all the factors step out from the planning procedure and the challenges to the planning. So therefore, we're recommending that this similar study, because the same challenge also will affect other PV systems like solar street lights, solar home systems. So we're recommending that a similar study on sustainability of solar home system and solar street lighting system should be carried out, because it will provide insight on the factors responsible for their early failure, which might have some peculiarity different from this because they are quite different in application. This in addition to the development of a web reporting portal for PV systems in Nigeria is what I intend to do for my PhD studies. Thank you.